but some genuinely cannot pay. So we have a medical social work department that evaluates the capability of patients to pay, and they make a recommendation on whether they should be let go or not. But it's a drain on our resources, really. But there is no other hospital that will do that. We are a government hospital, we cannot refuse patient.
If they are unable to pay, do you keep them in the hospital, or do you let them go but keep tabs?
That's what I've said, that the medical social work department will investigate, do home visit, assess the patient. But the patients that cannot pay, you really know right from day one.
Yeah.
Because they don't have visitors, they're just there. Maybe they were brought by the police, picked on the road, or by the road safety corps, or Good Samaritans. And then since they've been on the ward, nobody has come to see them and all that. So you will even be looking for where they will go, and also feeding them and all that. Unfortunately, too, we have some abandoned patients on the wards.
Because there was a time I had, I had interaction with, I think, a guy who said he's been there for 16 years.
Yes, there's a there's a patient in the children's ward. He's been there for about 18 years now.
And he's still there?
He's still there. Okay.
So is he okay to go, or he has a spinal cord injury?
He has a cerebral palsy.
Okay.
So he's mentally challenged. So he cannot live independently. He needs care. He needs dependent care. So we made efforts to get him to the homes that were created for that in Lagos State. The response we keep getting is there's no vacancy, no vacancy. So we've had to look after him for 18 years. There's another one that has been there for 6 years. The mother pretended she brought him for physiotherapy, and then told another mother she was going to the loo and all that, and then she disappeared. So we've had to look after him for the past 4 or 5 years now.
Okay, now we're talking about the issue of, the perception that you go to Igbobi and you cut off the leg, and you said most of the time the cases come very late. What do you think accounts for this? Why do you think people will prefer to go to all those people they call it, I think, a jaw or something, those traditional bone setters, rather than coming to the hospital?
Various reasons. Maybe there's a perception that it's cheaper. Then they are closer to the patient's homes, and then they believe it's a heritage and the skill has been passed down from generation to generation. Most modern societies in the world had traditional bone setters at one stage or the other. They concentrate more on managing fractures when the bone is broken. Interestingly, a broken bone, even if you don't seek so much help and you support a broken bone, it can heal. So anybody can claim credit for healing a broken bone, but it's the position in which it heals that matters. Does it heal in a crooked, shortened way, and the patient has to limp and it's uncomfortable, which is the usual end result of poorly managed fracture. So what the POP does, or the surgery does for most broken bone, is to set the bone so that the length can be maintained and there will be no deformity while the bone is healing. The capacity to heal is already in the body. If you eat very well and the nutrition gets into the blood will heal a broken bone. So the people claim success in healing of broken bone. I'm talking of traditional bone setter, but the success is actually a natural healing process. So the patients go to them. The major mistake they make is to attract a splint that is too tight, that cuts off the blood supply to the limb. And we've run some courses over the years. We've invited them to show them all these complications. So we're happy to note that as in Lagos State in particular, the incidence of that is going down now.
Okay.
Because of the training they've had.
So back to the celebration. Mrs. Obonga, what is happening now? You've had the walk, you've had the party, you've had the screening. So what's the next step in the celebration of 70 years? It's a remarkable year.
Yes, I would say we are almost at the end of it. We have Thanksgiving service tomorrow to round up. And
And on Tuesday, locally, we want to reward the members of staff that have performed excellently over the years. So that will be rounding it up fully.
After 70 years of doing this, what's the next step?
To continue to deliver excellent service to the patients that seek care under hospital. We, like I said, want to be a referral center, a tertiary institution for all the other secondary and tertiary centers in the country. Even we want to be a center for medical tourism for the West African zone and beyond. So we are training and retraining personnel to be able to give excellent care. We are also positioning ourselves to provide services for both the rich and the poor, because some problem we have had in the past is that the rich come to the environment and look at the environment and say they can't receive care in this environment. But we are trying to improve that. They know the skill is there, but just the environment. And what causes that? When you keep losing resources from treating patients that cannot pay, so you cannot maintain services. So we want to position ourselves to be able to look after both the rich and the poor. And we also want to continue to provide training. We have the only school, for instance, that trains people that fabricate artificial limbs and splints for support. We have post-basic training school for nurses. We run a residency training program for postgraduate doctors. And as of 2 years ago, when there was a review, we noticed that 68% of all orthopedic surgeons in Nigeria that are specialists at one stage or the other pass through the National Orthopaedic Hospital in Igbobi, Lagos during their postgraduate training. And we have the best pass rate in the residency training program in orthopedics in the country.
Okay, quickly now as we wind down, what about, just reorientating the workers, the health workers? Because you find people come for emergency and the attitude of the workers.
Well, it's an ongoing thing, but the members of the public can help us too. When they notice this wrong attitude and all that, we provided avenues for complaints. We have the Servicom office, we have the medical director's office, the head of clinical services office, where they can work directly and make complaints. Because it's when these things are brought to the notice of management that effective measures to contain them can be implemented.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Olurotimi Odunubi, Medical Director, National Orthopaedic Hospital.
Thank you.
Mrs. Margaret Obonga, Chairperson, Planning Committee for the 70th Anniversary. Thank you for coming. We wish you a happy 70th anniversary and we wish all your management team and staff better days ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sunrise will be back in a moment. Please don't go away.